Imagine paying $2,000 for a luxury handbag, only to watch someone on TikTok unbox a $30 version that looks almost identical, and laugh while doing it. Across America, a new scandal is exploding. Influencers, fashion lovers, even casual shoppers are taking to TikTok to expose what luxury brands don't want you to see. That many so-called exclusive products can be copied, or even outperformed, by factories halfway across the world. And those factories? They aren't shy about it. They're trolling. This isn't just about counterfeits anymore. It's a full-blown campaign, a clever, calculated form of rebellion fueled by Chinese factories that were supposed to be crushed by the US-China trade war. Instead of folding under tariffs and pressure, they adapted. They fought back in the most unexpected way possible, by revealing the secrets luxury brands have carefully hidden for decades. The handbags, the sneakers, the watches, once symbols of wealth and prestige, are now being exposed one TikTok at a time. But how did it come to this? How did a trade war meant to protect American industries turn into a global unmasking of the luxury world? Tariffs were supposed to make Chinese goods too expensive to compete. They were supposed to protect American and European luxury giants. They were supposed to punish factories abroad. Instead, factories adapted. They exposed secrets. They started trolling the very brands the West thought were untouchable. But how deep does this rabbit hole go? And what does it reveal about the real cost and the real value of luxury today? The scandal exploding across TikTok today didn't appear out of nowhere. Its roots stretch back to 2018, when the United States and China found themselves locked in an economic battle that would change global commerce forever. In an attempt to curb China's growing dominance, the US government imposed sweeping tariffs on Chinese imports. Billions of dollars worth of goods, from steel to electronics to fashion, were slapped with heavy taxes. Officials claimed it was necessary to protect American businesses, punish unfair trade practices, and bring manufacturing back to US soil. Luxury brands, both American and European, quietly celebrated. Tariffs they hoped would finally choke off the flood of imitation products coming from Chinese factories. But reality had other plans. Rather than collapsing under pressure, Chinese factories adapted at lightning speed. Some shifted production to countries like Vietnam and Cambodia. Others changed paperwork, rerouting goods through third nations. But the cleverest move was the simplest one: go direct to consumer. Using platforms like AliExpress, DHgate, and later Temu, factories bypassed traditional supply chains entirely. They didn't need luxury boutiques, middlemen, or even brand partnerships. They needed only a website, a warehouse, and a little bit of nerve. Thanks to a loophole known as the de minimis rule, any package shipped into the United States under $800 in value could skip tariffs altogether. No inspections, no duties, no real barriers. It wasn't just a workaround, it was a revolution. Factories that once made goods for famous labels realized they no longer had to play by old rules. They could create lookalikes, reinterpretations, even tongue-in-cheek versions of luxury products, and ship them straight to shoppers' doorsteps. And behind closed doors, these manufacturers had learned something unsettling. They had produced for the world's most prestigious brands. They had seen the margins. They knew the real difference between a $30 bag and a $3,000 one wasn't always in the materials or the craftsmanship, but in the branding. As the trade war dragged on, factories didn't just survive, they evolved. And quietly, they began preparing to expose the fragile myth propping up the global luxury industry. The TikTok wave you see today? That's not a coincidence. It's the latest front in a war that started years ago. A war fought not with armies, but with memes, marketplace listings, and viral videos. At first, it seemed like harmless imitation. Factories that once quietly stitched for the world's biggest luxury houses began producing similar designs on their own. But this wasn't simple copying. It was something sharper, more intentional. It was trolling. Factories knew exactly what they were doing. They weren't just selling knockoffs to unsuspecting buyers. They were winking at the consumer, daring them to notice the similarities. Sometimes the designs were near identical, Sometimes they were exaggerated parodies. A handbag would have the same stitching, the same clasp, the same shape, but a fake brand name like Gucci or Louis Vuitton would be stamped on the side. Close enough to be obvious, but distant enough to sidestep lawsuits. And they didn't stop there. Product descriptions became their own form of trolling. Listings would say things like, made with the same Italian leather as expensive brands, or crafted in factories that supply Europe's finest. Some even posted side-by-side comparison photos, openly daring shoppers to find a difference. In some cases, the only real difference was the missing $1,970 price tag. What made this trolling brilliant wasn't just the audacity, it was the truth behind it. Many Chinese factories had supplied the luxury world for years. They knew exactly which brands outsourced their manufacturing. They knew how much brands paid for materials and how much they marked them up afterward. Now, freed from contracts and empowered by direct-to-consumer platforms, they could weaponize that insider knowledge. Social media supercharged the movement. Sellers began targeting influencers and micro-celebrities, sending them products to review, knowing that one viral video could spark 1,000 sales. These weren't underground operations. They were open, aggressive, and unapologetically clever. As the trolling grew, it also evolved. Factories started creating premium replicas that didn't just match luxury items, they sometimes surpassed them in quality. A dupe sneaker might have better stitching. A dupe bag might use thicker, more durable leather. When influencers pointed this out, sometimes in viral TikTok videos, the factories didn't just smile, they leaned in. They highlighted the videos in their ads. They turned TikTok into an accidental marketing machine. The factories had learned the ultimate lesson. If you can't beat the system, expose it. If luxury is just branding, then branding can be mocked, copied, and sold for $29.99 with free shipping. If Chinese factories had simply copied luxury products and sold them cheaply, the story might have ended there. But what they did instead was far more brilliant and hilarious. They turned the entire process into a game, a performance, a global inside joke that millions are now in on, thanks largely to TikTok. Take the viral $30 dupe videos flooding your For You page. In one clip, a TikToker dramatically unboxes a handbag labeled Louis Vuitton. It looks stunning. Buttery leather, flawless stitching, gold hardware that shines under the ring light. She holds it next to her real Louis Vuitton, never full, and struggles to tell them apart. The kicker? The dupe cost $40. The original? $2,100. The comment section explodes with laughter, outrage, and hundreds of people asking, "Link?" It's not just bags. Sneakers are a huge target too. Videos show $1,200 Balenciaga sneakers compared to $50 Balenciaga lookalikes, side by side, detail by detail. Sometimes the dupes even win. TikTok reviewers zoom in to show tighter stitching, softer leather, sturdier soles. The message is loud and clear. If you're paying $1,200 for this, you're paying for the name, not the quality. One Chinese factory even took it further. They started selling DIY luxury kits, flat-packed leather pieces that mimic famous handbag designs. For $60, you could make your own designer bag at home. The kits included everything: pre-cut premium leather, stitching tools, even assembly instructions, a step-by-step guide to building what brands claim takes master artisans weeks to create. It was the ultimate troll. Luxury unmasked, reduced to an IKEA project. Product descriptions themselves became weapons of humor. Sellers wrote lines like, "Made in the same factories as expensive brands, minus the marketing team." Or, "Genuine cowhide, just like the $2,000 version, but we skipped the Paris photo shoot." There's also the genius of the near-perfect parody brands. Not just Gucci clones, but purposely wrong names like Gucci or Channel or Fendi. Some even designed logos that looked close enough at a glance but were hilariously off upon closer inspection. These weren't accidents. They were intentional jokes at luxury's expense. Jokes that buyers happily shared, reviewed, and laughed about online. And every viral TikTok, every side-by-side photo comparison, every shocked unboxing wasn't just a sale. It was a viral marketing moment for trolling factories. One that no luxury brand could fight without looking even more foolish. The brilliance of it all lies in the shared secret. Shoppers aren't being tricked into thinking they're buying real luxury. They know exactly what's happening. They're choosing to participate in the joke. In a world obsessed with exclusivity, Chinese factories flipped the script. They made inclusion cool, clever, and just rebellious enough to be irresistible. And with every viral unboxing, the old myths crumble a little more. At first glance, it looks like chaos. Thousands of listings, millions of packages, endless viral videos. But behind the trolling lies a very clear strategy. One that's dismantling the luxury industry piece by piece. First, there's the loophole no one talks about. The de minimis rule. In the United States, any package under $800 can enter the country without paying import taxes or facing serious inspection. Originally meant for personal gifts and small purchases, Chinese factories turned this into their ultimate weapon. They ship tiny packages, one by one, directly to consumers. No customs crackdown, no tariffs, no middlemen, just an endless, unstoppable river of $30 dupes pouring straight into American homes. Second, the platforms supercharge the system. AliExpress, Temu, DHgate, they act like global swap meets, connecting factories to buyers instantly. Sellers can disappear and reappear under new names in minutes. Listings change constantly. Enforcement is almost impossible. It's a digital version of whack-a-mole, but the moles are faster, smarter, and multiplying by the hour. Third, and maybe most importantly, it's about the psychology of exposure. When millions of TikTokers gleefully post side-by-side comparisons of luxury goods and $40 alternatives, something shifts. Consumers start questioning the very concept of luxury. If they look the same, if they feel the same, if they even last the same, what exactly am I paying for? The mystery, the exclusivity, the aura that luxury brands spent decades creating. It evaporates with every viral video. This is why the trolling works so powerfully. It doesn't just undercut the price. It undercuts the story luxury brands are selling. Once you see the wizard behind the curtain, you can't unsee it. And TikTok, with its endless scroll of brutally honest, highly entertaining content, is the perfect battlefield. Factories didn't just find a loophole in the law. They found a loophole in consumer trust, and they're exploiting it brilliantly. The question now isn't whether luxury brands can protect their prices. It's whether they can protect their mystique. And the answer so far isn't looking good. What's happening with trolling factories and TikTok scandals isn't just a passing trend. It's a glimpse into the future of global trade, and maybe into the future of power itself. Chinese factories have shown an agility that traditional Western brands can't match. When tariffs hit, they didn't waste years lobbying governments or restructuring corporate hierarchies. They shifted overnight. They learned how to ship smarter, sell faster, and troll louder. They turned every obstacle into an opportunity. That kind of speed and creativity isn't just impressive. It's dangerous to the slow-moving giants of the luxury world. Luxury brands, for their part, are scrambling. Some are trying lawsuits. Others are attempting to educate consumers about the superiority of their products. A few are doubling down on ultra-exclusive marketing, releasing limited editions priced higher than ever. But every viral TikTok showing a $30 dupe that looks, or even feels, identical to a $3,000 original eats away at their efforts. The trolling factories aren't just exposing brand hypocrisy. They're exposing the slowness of Western corporations to adapt. In an economy where perception matters more than product, whoever controls the narrative wins. And right now, it's not Louis Vuitton or Gucci leading the conversation. It's a 22-year-old TikToker with 500,000 followers unboxing a $20 Louis Vuitton bag while laughing hysterically. Even more concerning for brands? This is just the beginning. Factories are getting better at production. TikTokers are getting better at storytelling. Platforms are getting better at making sure these videos spread faster. What starts with handbags and sneakers could easily spill into electronics, cosmetics, even automotive parts. Every industry built on branding rather than substance is at risk. The bigger picture is clear. This isn't just about luxury goods anymore. It's about who controls the story. And for the first time, that power is slipping out of the hands of billion-dollar companies and landing squarely in the hands of factories, creators, and everyday consumers. The trade war might have started with tariffs and angry speeches, but it's ending in memes, TikToks, and an unstoppable wave of exposure. And there's no putting the genie back in the bottle. The trade war tried to slow China down. Instead, it sparked one of the most creative economic rebellions we've ever seen. Factories didn't just survive. They exposed the myths of luxury. They rewrote the rules of commerce. And with TikTok as their unexpected ally, they showed millions of shoppers a truth they can't unsee. Luxury isn't dead, but its secrets are no longer safe. And as new scandals unfold, one question remains. If Chinese factories can expose billion-dollar brands this easily, who or what will they disrupt next? Stay curious.